pension report, access to the pension in a different format. Some things are good things, some things are bad things. All our government probably have seen that the way of getting a bit of revenue earlier than what's anticipated. So there you are. Okay. Pensions, sick benefits, and the new ruling. This ruling came in from April 6, 2015. It was announced last March. Big surprise to us all. We didn't expect it. But there we are, we're going to live with it. It will benefit some, but I reckon it will spoil others. So, you know, you've got to be careful. Now, going back to basics. Two basic pension schemes out there. There's a pension scheme, which is the old style where, I don't know if any of you have been employed by local governments, teachers, police, and so forth. They're classified as a defined final salary scheme. Not even fit inside of that. The second one is a defined contribution, or you might have heard the money purchase scheme, where you're actually putting money into a pot, and hopefully that pot will grow and it will enable you to have a sufficient income in retirement, and so forth. Right, the defined benefit final salary scheme is what local government have got in force for council workers, teachers, social services, police, highways, and especially Gwynedd Council here. NHS as well, doctors, nurses, and support workers, etc. The defined benefit scheme is an expensive scheme to run, and what we're finding now is a lot of local governments and so forth are trying to filter people out of this type of scheme into the money purchase. So a lot of new employees no longer are entitled to go into the defined benefit scheme, as I say, too, because of the expenses and so forth. Differently to money purchase, the defined benefit scheme is dependent on the amount of years service. So it depends on how many years service you've got to do work, and most people have to work either 30 years or 40 years to get half. And it's also dependent on the accrual rate. Now, I'm not going to go into complicated issues and calculations here, but just believe me, if I said to you, that is a better scheme than that, just take my word for it. Right, defined contribution schemes. Now, this is more relative, I would say, to business people, self-employed people, and people who are in pension schemes. Most people in this room, I would say, it's all relevant. And it is dependent on the level or the amount of contribution that you can afford. Obviously, a limit. I'm not going to talk to you about limits today because I don't think there's many in this room for the higher limit. Not being lecturing anybody, but it's a lot. It's levels dependent on level contribution, growth pot, so where is it, and or what funds are in, and of course who the providers are, and of course if they want an advice from someone like myself, who your advisor is, and if the advisor is able to give you reviews and look after you in an orderly fashion. Now then, pension changes. This is where the new regulation have come in, and what this is all about is how you can access your pension. Now, a lot of you have looked at this, I suppose, and think, well, oof, I can get hold of my pension pot and I go to what I like first. I mean, the old favourite saying was, you know, buy a Lamborghini and suffer the consequences, but it's not as easy as that, and it's not so plain sailing. Three main ways you can actually access your pot. Well, I've put here far more flexibility, greater choice, but greater responsibility, so that he does a warning basically. Over 55 and have a money purchase or a defined contribution pension. You are entitled to take the whole fund as a cash all at once. But only the first 25% of that is actually tax-free. The rest is taxed as income. You could imagine, I'll do a calculation later, 100,000 pot, 25%, 25,000, 75,000, it will put you a lot of you in high rate tax bracket and you'll be paying 40%. So be warned, I would not think very carefully on the day. B, you can take small lump sums. What it means is you take cashly out of your pension pot. Every time you take the cash out, the first 25% is tax free. The residual amount left in the pot, sorry, the residual amount of that encashment is taxed at your nominal rate. And the third one, you can take 25% tax-free and the regular taxable income from the rest. Now, I don't know if anybody's heard the term drawdown. That's what you're effectively doing. You are drawing income out of your pension pot. Or you can actually buy what they call an annuity. Now, we're going back to where we were pre this April of it. Most people with a pension pot would be purchasing annuities. What that meant was, once you purchase an annuity, you have no access to it no more, you're stuck with it. So you've got access to your pot, but you've got more control over it. Now, there's more fine-tuning on this again, and I don't want to go to major details because I'll be here all night. But there's three issues. So, first of all, you can take the whole lot of the pot, which I would definitely not advise. And if you came to me and asked me advice on that, I would say to go away and phone the number of the company involved because it's too much responsibility. Second one, you can take partial encashment. Every encashment, 25% of the first encashment is tax-free. The residual amount is then taxed at the nominal rate. And that means you're leaving then your pot to grow again. So if you need a lump sum now and again, you can take it as you wish to do so. There are certain rules on that, but I won't go into detail on that. And then the third one, obviously, is actually purchasing annuity, like the old-fashioned annuity, and taking income from it. Okay. It is a complicated business, this, and you know we've had to struggle and learn. And the unfortunate thing is the Financial Conduct Authority are not giving us hard and fast rules around this, so they're going to watch how people react over the next 12 months, and then they're going to start stepping in to see what's gone wrong. That's the usual way of dealing with things anyway. But another one little issue here, I don't know if any of you've got pension pots, but if you've got 30,000 and less, then it's possible to cash them with no major incidents. But if you're talking away over the 30,000 mark in pots and you wish to access, what these companies will allow you 25% tax-free, but then they will charge you or they will deduct the emergency tax on the residual amount until the end of your financial year, where you then have to reclaim the balance up and above, depending on your personal coding. So it's not as easy as all that. Yeah? So remember, so any of you think, oh, I'm going to pass my Arctic lump sum out. Most companies are not geared up to have your coding in place. They'll automatically be up to 45% they'll retain from that pot. At the end of the financial year, your accountants and so forth, you get coding and then we'll claim that back. It's a very, very complicated issue, but it works for some people, it might not work for others. Going back to the original scheme, as I told you, the police, the NHS, the council workers who are in an occupational scheme, defined benefit based on the number of years service. There's big talks that some of these will transfer to the money purchase schemes and access their pension pots all at once. What we understand at the moment is that local authorities will not allow it, NHS won't allow it, but what you will find is some of the larger private companies who did undertake these schemes will allow it. But that's still dangerous ground because you are eating into your pot. You know, this is your pension at the end of the day. If you're going to start eating into it early, are you going to have enough when you decide to retire? Because obviously what they're aiming at is to reduce the state pension. There's no doubt about that. The goalposts are moving all the time. What I would say, beware, but it's handy. And I would say sometimes in small businesses, cash flow problems or what have you, it might be something to consider, but please look at other avenues first before you actually think, oh, I'm getting a pension, I can do something with it. I would be careful, that's all I would say to you. Any questions? I know it's all boring stuff.
How long is the tax element? So when you retire, and you still use your lump sum, still pay the same level of tax?
Depends on your status at that time. If you're non-taxpayer in retirement, what you've got to think, if you take lump sums out, you could take you into the tax bracket where you would be taxable on it. So every individual is treated independently on this.
So it doesn't matter whether you're 55 or 75.
Depends how much income you have in that tax year.
Depends on how much income is all based on that tax year. There are tax benefits to this new scheme, by the way. If you haven't accessed your pension pot pre-75, then it can be handed over out to the estates and so forth. But I told you, technically surrounding this, I could spend another half an hour on it, and I don't think it's relevant to me personally. Again, obviously, I will run
That's the biggest advantage over in the new.
And the other thing is as well, I just mentioned this, maximum contribution is 40,000 at the moment, but once you go to a drawdown scenario, you're limited to 10,000 a year. Not many people in this room, I should think, is contributing 10,000 a year for pension. Or 40,000 at the moment, I'm looking down to 10,000.
If you've already got them, can you convert to
Now, you're not talking about something that's coming in next year, which is going to be like this endowment resale, basically. A lot of people out there trying to buy annuities of people are like, I'm still well away from it. Well away from it. But you have got uncrystallised pension schemes. This is what we're talking about here. Once you've crystallised, once you've done an event, once you've annuitised, then you're locked away from what we're talking here. These are pensions that are sitting. Now, there might be some people out there, you might know they have worked for local government and so forth, all of the authorities, they've got frozen occupational schemes. They might fall into a different category, they can be treated differently. But we will not advise on anybody who's in an occupational scheme to find benefits and they wish to take benefits now and convert into one of these schemes. We will not get involved. We do not know when it will kick up and say, well, you told me to take it, I've got no money left to live on. So it's a dangerous scenario. That's why the FCA have backed off and say, well, they'll step in 12 months' time and have a look. Well, that's typical. But also be careful. In the right hands, does help, and it could help crash cover if someone has got large pots of pension, i.e. 100, 200,000, and they need 10,000, it's possible. But more often than not, it's not from the pots that it's at the moment. It must be transferred into flexi pots. And I don't really heard of SIPs and so forth, but I'm not going to go down and talk about SIPs and SASs and what have you, but that's what we're looking at. You've got to transfer and then access. The remaining pot will still take advantage of growth there.
Do small businesses now have to provide pension scheme for?
This is what we're talking about auto-enrolement, which was supposed to have speaking tonight. My colleague had prepared, unfortunately, got best of health. Next month, we'll get HB on auto-enrolement. That is important. I don't think the government will back off on this one. And the beauty, we can help staging dates and that. We just got to put the employee roll number, we can put it in the system, and we'll flag us what the dates.
Just very, very quickly, what's some criteria for employees? Is it under a certain age?
Okay, basically 10,000 and over.
If they're over,
it's compulsory.
So if they're under that,
they don't have to, but it can be. Okay.
But that's a stamp.
First have to speak on that. And that really, I would say, is more relevant to community this at the moment.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, this will happen Saturday, so I get time to put it all together. I hope it's just give you an insight of the changes that's gone on with taking the pension in different formats.
Good job. Thank you. Does everybody know where John is? If you need to speak to John, he's behind the visitor centre, Tourist Information Centre on the square. Yeah, come on, John. Hope you found that very useful. And next month we've got Peter coming to talk about the auto-enrolement, which will be, very useful also. Our next guest speaker is Peter Jackson, who's the chair of the Dolgellau Partnership, and he's going to share a few words about the Dolgellau Partnership, hopefully, and see where we can help each other. Yeah, Peter.
Right, Dolgellau Partnership
Who in this room doesn't know what it's about? Yeah, interesting. Okay, so not want to try. So the Best Life Partnership is an organisation, a company limited by guarantee, non-profit company, and it's basically there to do good things for the Best Life community things. It's a fantastic constitution that sort of says we all do stuff to look after the economy, the culture, the environment, and everything else you think of the Best Life. So it's got a very wide remit in theory. I'm just going to give you a minute of history, or 2 minutes of history, why it started, where it came from. It goes back to the days of the WDA, and there was something called the Market Town Initiative, which various smallish towns in Wales had. Dolgellau was one. And same sort of idea, trying to do sort of community projects to improve the town. This particular one had 1 or 2 different project officers. I would say it was not particularly successful in terms of achieving outputs or whatever. I think the WDA thought it was, they were trying to get around the problem of small town councils not really being very dynamic. And that's still a problem in many parts of not just Wales, but all of Britain. So that particular projects finished, and then they came up with a sort of son of the Market Towns Initiative, which was, I have a name, but basically it was an idea of setting up a partnership. And in theory, the Dolgellau partnership should be composed of 4 representatives from the business sector, 4 from the voluntary sector, 4 from the council sector, and then 4 from the surrounding community councils, which in that case are the directorate of the in practice, that's never worked. So we've never managed to get that sort of that theoretical representation, and we struggle to get anyone to do anything. And basically, if you're interested, you join, and things happen or not. That this partnership was set up probably about 10 years ago, maybe about 2000, I suppose. And we, in the early years, I wasn't right there right at the very beginning, but in the early years, we really struggled to achieve anything. Lots of, my part, a lot of frustration that we weren't really going anywhere. But gradually, we sort of get our act together in a way and have achieved quite a lot. And for those of you who don't know, the security projects we've done the farmers market, which was one project we set up, and that's still going. It's going really 10 years ago when the first project was set up. We bought a piece of woodland and restored a well at the top end of town, on fire. You'll have seen that. That's what project we did. And then I would say the most major project that you were aware of in the town is the Marian Bach. And there we are on our 4th phase of improving that area. So originally there was children's playground was a mess. We improved that. Then we did sort of adults playground. We renovated the building for the whole foot court. There was a phase of landscape which is a mess at the moment, which is the 4th phase, and there was a final phase once the split works go to sort of finish landscaping that area. And that, I suppose, it's probably cost a couple £100,000 of public money or grant money has gone into that, through lottery, through cover out, so that's all been raised by the partnership and organised by us. We've done other smaller projects, but another one that's been quite important is close working relationship with the Surrey National Park and the Town Heritage Initiative, restoring the buildings and the town. We play quite an important role in that, giving sort of community input into it. But without that, the scheme couldn't exist. That's, as you may be aware, is just been successful in the 2nd or 3rd phase, so there's another £1 million or so coming
the Westline from that fund, lottery fund. The details not yet. Opportunity for the businesses in town to have some input into that. There will be some consultants working through the summer, and there will be specifically some money earmarked to do what is called public groundwork. So, I mean, one of the technical things that could be done, if people are interested, is to do the type of work that's being done for the library and extend that down Mill Street or around the back of long Glassdoor, at the top of the little back alley for next to the Unicorn. So there is money there specifically earmarked for sort of work which sort of recreates historical features. There's also quite a lot of money earmarked for sort of public involvement and public interpretation, which hopefully we can do something that will help interpret the town for tourism and other people. Again, the partnership stuff and a lot of input into that, hasn't it? We're working on sort of the work on the park is almost coming to an end, and sort of next we've got two big, well, one very big project and one smaller project which are in the early stages and they may not go anywhere. One is to try and set up a community hydro scheme with Aron, which if we can put it off, there's a lot of technical problems and practical problems, that would actually generate a significant amount of money annually for the town to do things. It's one of the challenges I think we find is that we as an organisation have no money at home, and admin is all depending on a group of individuals who have got limited time and resources. So if there could be a sort of ongoing source of income, it would be absolutely fabulous to do that and to maybe to do smaller projects rather than having to look for a grant that fits the criteria. So that's one thing. The other area we're working on is, it's a bit of a slippery fish, we haven't quite grasped it, is the whole of the sort of interpretation of the town in terms of when visitors come, what's here for them to see. There's the Tourist Information Centre, which may or may not close, so that's sort of part of the equation in some ways. There's within council itself's got ideas to try and interpret the town. We've got various ideas of our own. There's this money I've just talked about with the Town Heritage Initiative. But sort of project. So that's sort of what we're doing, what we're about. Yeah, two other things I suppose. I'm very pleased this group's getting together, and I hope it goes from strength to strength. It's possibly, if they've got that partnership's ideal partner to do certain things. And one of the advantages we have that we have this constitution and all that sort of thing. So we can take grants in, and so potentially I don't know which way you're all going to go. And I would say as an aside, that's probably one of your biggest challenges as a group. What are you here for? What are you going to be doing? There have been the previous incarnations of tourism and trade and various other things over the years, and they've all, for whatever reason, failed. They've sort of lost impetus. I think you all need to think about what's sustainable and what's going to work in the future, because it's quite easy to start with a lot of energy and then they'll just peters out. But certainly, from the sort of project side of things, the partnership potentially offers a mechanism for projects to be implemented and I think financed. But sort of that side of it, there's a vehicle to do that within. That's not to say that I expect someone to come to me or our group and say, "Oh, Peter, we've got a great project, go and do it." People have tried that, and that's not going to work. We're sort of flat out with the capacity we've got. We very much welcome more people to get involved. So if you've got energy and time, join us. But there's no reason why a particular project can't be set up and be under the umbrella of the partnership, providing the partnership you know, I look at stuff. It's pointless setting up another whole group.
Yeah, yeah.
When there's a vehicle, and I think it's meant to, you know, it's not. It's meant to be open for the best run. So if you want to do that, use it. I think that's what I want to say, really. So maybe there's some questions.
So when do you meet?
We meet on a Monday, generally once or twice a month. So Joe is actually, what I haven't said is Joe is a member of the partnership. There's also the town council representative of the partnership. She wears many hats. So
You said you want, or the ideal is to have 4 representatives from businesses in the town. Who are they? Apart from Joe. As well.
depends how you define business, actually.
Right.
I mean, well, okay. I mean, you know, we've got one member who lets holiday cottages. She would count as a business, I think. I run a business, but it's not in the town. It's out in.
You've got shops?
No. Shops. No.
So maybe useful to have some shops.
Right.
But what we know, it's not a talking shop. This is an action.
No. But
you know, if
I've always heard about the partnership in sort of umbrella terms.
Yeah.
But nobody until sort of I got talking to Joe, got talking to the council, etc. I've never found out who were members, where you meet, when you meet, how you get onto it, what you do, etc. So it's brilliant that you're here talking to us. But if you sort of, you know what shop I've got just down there.
Yeah.
I've got posters on the door. If you come into me and say, we've got a meeting on such and such, and you stick up a notice for me, that will be seen more to get potential people on to help you.
things in the press in the past, I've tried very hard in general.
I don't have time to
you know, right, but that, we have tried, not the ones who are trying. But I think, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Have you got a Facebook page?
But you know, I'm trying to get someone to do this sort of stuff, but it's really hard just to
Well,
do.
see, you have council, yeah.
You know, it's
But
that's
so quite often you get things mentioned in the paper, but they don't say when.
right. But what, in a sense, what is that? Those meetings are not really meetings just to turn up to. It's just more to say,
I understand.
we'd like, you know, people say yes, I'd really like to resolve this as a sort of ongoing basis. That's great. But basically, the sort of nitty-gritty boring meetings. But it's more that I think, say you as a group or shopkeepers as a group say, right, we'd really like to do this, and maybe that involves getting some money from somewhere. Then that would be.
You were just saying about the GHI and the interpretation schemes for that. Yeah, that's something I'd love to be involved.
Right. Okay. Well, we've got a group who's sort of working on that. So we'll give you your details.
What do you want from us, and what can we give to you, and how can we get involved, so that eventually you can help us, we can help you.
I can help you. Well, I mean, I think there are specific. So let's take an example of, say, We know,
And you know that.
but that just kind of actually grew out of the partnership. And then it sort of, and then it sort of didn't really want to communicate. And that's, we can't afford that something in this town. We've got to work a bit more closely together.
Yeah. Isn't it a shame though that so we don't make things we know about?
Yeah.
Partnership.
Yeah.
Isn't it time to try and embrace more of the community?
Yes.
And we're asking you, how do we do it?
Right. Well,
You're not giving us an answer.
if you would like to be the publicity secretary and do that, it'd be great. I've tried again and again to get someone to take that role on, and no one sort of looks down. So, yeah, we do need that. The profile of the organisation needs to be raised, but there's only so much.
I just feel that there is such a huge whirlpool of talent in this town in various degrees, in various ways, and all they need to do is pull together to work the town as a community good. We need to promote the town to the world. You have to stop thinking about individual businesses and individual thoughts and that, and to really think about how best to bring people here to do what's best for the town and for the community. And that sometimes is very, very difficult to get over to people in general.
So, I mean, that's takes on a slightly different track. I'm sure everyone looks at me, but I've tried with the partnership to try to see if we can come up with a strategic focus for our organisation. We've historically sort of someone's had an idea or there's been a grant and we've done that. So that's not necessarily where we as organisations are focusing our efforts. And I don't see much enthusiasm for that. I've tried to do it with town council, because in theory they should do the same. And 2 years of trying now, we haven't got anyone. Now maybe you as an organisation also would like to do that strategic. You know, I think that a bit of strategic thinking does help, and maybe we can get someone externally to help.
Do you have an issue statement?
That's what we do.
Okay, we've got a sort of a page of what we're about.
Not quite. The Constitution, as you say, covers a large region.
Yeah. Well, there is a sort of agency organisation, which is sort of
Something along the lines.
I'll see if I can
Put prosperity will get by.
yeah. Okay. I'll see if I can take that out and do all that.
Thank you very much. If you want to promote the partnership, get in contact with us. We'll put something on the Facebook page website and Kelly as well. And there's an open invitation to them every time.
Yeah. And Joe, I think let's use Joe.
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
fantastic link.
So you're representative of the partnership as well.
Or I mean, okay. Well, you are at the moment anyway. Yeah.
I discovered at the last council AGM I'm unable to committees where they all interlink.
You know what? That's not necessarily thing to do, but maybe that's what we actually do.
But no, that's why I've done it, because I think it's very useful to have the same person think that in all these different parts. And at least I'm starting to learn what's going on. I'm not standing up there and telling them because I don't know what to speak. But yes, it's very useful, and then I can answer questions. So if you want to know about the Christmas lights, I can answer about. So I brought Geach along tonight because although I could have answered some questions about the partnership, he as chair obviously knows 5,000% more than I do. So there's other people which I think we should invite along, which I know little tiny bits about.
Will you tell us who they are and we'll invite them?
Well, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm slowly getting you to invite people along.
So very grateful for you to come in. I think there's some useful information there that we can work together that will help the community and help the town and help the businesses to move forward. So thank you very much. Everyone else, Peter. Our next guest speaker is Gwenfron. She's self-employed. She's got a company called Maneg, but she helps small businesses as small business advisor on behalf of Business Wales, and she's helped a lot of my customers start their own business. And she used to be in that herself with HSBC. So welcome, Gwenfron.
Welcome everybody, Chris Southwell, and thank you for the invitation. It's good to come here and talk to you about the work that I do. I know some of you, and some of you who know me, some of you have been in my workshops and as well. So I had prepared a lovely presentation, as you can see here, but unfortunately technology was not available tonight, so I'm afraid I've got to read it now. So I do apologise. Okay, so I'm Gwenfron. I'm a business advisor, and I work on the startup programme through the Welsh Assembly. And I've been doing this job for the last 13 years. I've been self-employed for the last 7-ish, 8-ish perhaps. And prior to that, I worked for HSBC for 26 years. So that's my sort of background, really. I worked within a team of the 3 of us that work within the team. There's Alan Roberts. He's the manager of the program. He's the problem solver. He's the person that sorts everything out. He's always there at the end of the phone for me. But he doesn't actually move out of the office. And then there's Norman Jones and myself. And we are the people on the ground, really. So we go out and see people, we talk to people, we find out really what their dreams are, and we try and take them through the process to see whether they are able to start their own business, or whether starting their own business is not perhaps an option for them at this time. Since the beginning of 2015, we are now part of Business Wales. I don't know whether any of you have heard of Business Wales? Yes, okay. So up until then, we were independent and on the starter programme, also financed with a lot of funding. But since February, we are now part of Business Wales as well. So we come under one umbrella. So we are now Business Wales as well. Okay, so what do? I see people and I meet people on a one-to-one basis, and we do workshops. We run the workshops in Rugby Club in Dolgellau.
I've got a screen and I use.
Sorry?
I've got a screen to use for this presentation.
We also support businesses that are employing people and that are likely to be VAT registered business at the first year of trading as well. Our service is bilingual, then in Siarad Cymraeg. We speak, the meetings are held in whatever language you would prefer to speak in. And it's a free service, it's financed by the Welsh Assembly, so it's there to be used. I'll tell you a little bit about the workshops. The workshops cover, at the moment I'm doing them over a 4-day period, and on each workshop there's 2 morning workshops and there's 2 day workshops. So on the morning workshops we do a module, and you will get a book similar in size to this, which you take away with you, and there are some exercises and things that I like you to work through with you before then we go on to the next day. So we have those every 2 months-ish in Rugby Club in Dolgellau. You have to register before coming because I need to know how many people are coming. And the first module is taking the plunge, and that module will help you to have a better understanding really of everything you need to consider before you start. The second, so that's just the morning. The second day then is all about marketing. So we look and how to measure the market out there. So what is market research? What do you need to do before you start? How do you go about doing that? The afternoon then is the marketing itself, so winning and keeping customers, and that's when you look at the issue that might arise regarding how you're going to market it. Then the next day then is the finance day, the day that everybody dreads, the day where we look in the morning of how to price your product, how do we work out what costs to take into account, and how those then will affect what you're doing. And then the afternoon then we go on and we look at what a cash flow forecast is all about, what's a profit and loss, what's a balance sheet, how do those relate to your business, what will you need to produce at the end of the year, the tax, for the land revenue, what the accountant would need. So I can just take you through that process really. And also what we do as part of all of this as well is that at the beginning of the workshops I give you plan then, as the day goes on, I will say, right, okay, whatever this is discussed today, then needs to go into a certain section then of your business plan. And the last session, which is just the morning session, is managing your business. So we look at how tax and VAT will affect your business, what you've got to take into account, and then what issues and things that you need to address before you start. Because the problem is, once you start a business, everything else on top of you, you're busy, and it's really difficult then to sort of get time to do everything. So how important processes and things are before you actually start. Many people come and see me for the first time because they think I've got money that I can do with. And it's the first sentence a lot of people will ask, what money can I get? And as a business advisor, I don't have any money at all. But I do know what money is available and when money is available across North Wales. We're probably in the ground somewhere as far as grants is concerned. Local investment fund grants, which was the grants out there, the 40% grant, which was out there for the last 5 years, which was finished in December last year. And since then, we're waiting for Gwynedd Council, hopefully, to get some funding in. So by being in contact with Business Wales, before you spend any money, because the problem is, once you've spent any money on something, then you can't then apply for any grants. It's got to be agreed by the provider before you can go ahead and purchase. So one thing I would advise you, if you are thinking of spending some money on your business, just pick up the phone on Business Wales and ask the question, what is the grant and tuition loan? I think that things probably will change within the next 6 to 9 months. But at the moment, that is, unfortunately, the news I have today is that there are no specific grants for general businesses. However, there is still tourism grants, which is a grant of 25% towards a tourism business. And there are also talks of a new grant that's going to be available for 18 to 24-year-olds, as there was a few months ago. If you're a business startup or within 12 months of starting a business, there's also a startup loan that's available. It's at a rate of 6%, which is not cheap, but again, perhaps better than what might be available elsewhere as well. And we help you to go through that process to see whether you'll be eligible to apply and whether you can actually afford to pay it back as well.
And as a bank, we refer them to Business Wales now, if we're not able to help as well.
Okay, so what's my general job? Well, when I see people, what I usually try and do is I try and help them to develop a business idea, for them to be able to decide themselves whether self-employment or starting a business is something that they can do and that they want to do. I then help them to look at a business plan, because I feel that it's quite important really for somebody to have something to follow to when you're actually starting a business. Because it's much easier in a second year. Because in a second year, you can compare to what you need, or what you did in your first year. Okay, but in your first year, you've got nothing, have you? You've just got a blank sheet. You've got no path to follow, and that's why really having a business plan. So I try and help you to put that business plan together, whether it's quite a simplified business plan or whether it's pages and pages, depending on your needs really. We also try and help you to do a cash flow forecast in order for you to project and to know really actually what your target is each week or each month and for the first year. At least then that you know how much money you actually need to generate in order to pay those bills that will come in. Not only do you have to support yourself financially, but you also got to pay those business bills. I then help you to go for any grant applications or loan applications that you need to. So I take you through that process as well. I help you with any marketing issues. and we look at things like HR issues as well with you. So that's basically what I do day in, day out. But once your business then starts, I then take what we call the start agreement from you, and then come under the umbrella of Business Wales. And they can then provide all of you who are businesses already with support. I don't know whether you were aware of that, but Business Wales is an organisation across Wales. The nearest offices to us is in Bangor, or Aberystwyth, or in Nesa. Okay, there isn't one, unfortunately, in Dolgellau itself. Used to be on the way up to the hospital on the Dolgellau road there, but unfortunately that closed a few years ago now. So we're either Bangor, Aberystwyth, or, and they can provide you with specialist advice towards your business. So if you wanted specific, say, help with recruiting staff, then they would come out to see you. If you wanted marketing advice, they would come out to see you. If you've got environmental issues, if you think you're paying too much on electricity and things like that, they will come out to see you and to help you within your business. And they also, you just register your details with them, and they will then send you a newsletter every quarter. I think it's every quarter, not monthly. And that newsletter will keep you up to date with any new funding, new grants, new opportunities, events that might be on in the area. I know there's a branding event on the 17th of June in Porthmadog. That's it, yes. So, it's those kinds of things really that they would let you know about. Their telephone number, in case anybody wants them, I probably use the Bangor one, so it's 01248. That's my screen comes handy, isn't it? 668 626. Okay, 01248 668 626. And we're now in the last year of our contract. So, well, in the last 9 months of our contract, we just had an extension, really. So, we will be here delivering this service until the end of December. We are now in the process of looking to see what will be available for 2016 going forward. And they are looking for another contract of around 5 years going forward from there. And that contract will probably be a contract that will be supporting pre-start clients, as I'm doing now, and post-start customers, which is the Business Wales responsibility at the moment. Okay, diolch yn fawr iawn i chi am eich amser. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Are you relevant to not?
Sorry?
Are you relevant to not?
Can we see? Yes, we can. Yes. But new businesses. Yes. Any other questions? Post-start is to help people that are already established like yourself.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been known about so you want to help.
You contact Business Wales, yes, and then they will then have a business advisor then that would be able to come out to see you. That number, 01248 number. Do you have the newsletter from them? No. So if you contact them and ask for the newsletter, and then ask them as well for a business advisor, and then they would then get somebody to come and see you. Yeah.
I think you use haven't you?
Yeah.
You want to share?
That
went so well. You want to share? You want to share what Gwenfron did with you then?
Yeah, well, basically, we've done a problem with it for 12 months, and from starting up the business, she gave support, provided a lot of information and how we can get grants and things like that. Basically, she was a great support to us. So yes, really, thank you very much.
And I deal with Gwenfron quite often with my own clients, people starting out and people within the first 12 months. So yes, very, very important link for me. Yeah, before he goes.
Gwenfron said about March, it will be any link and we'll list link up to the main between the two. Yeah. Because we would get a question mark.
challenges someone to say they'll actually do it. Yeah.
But you can always access business affairs all the time.
Yeah.
Because they are a company and they
Yeah. Well,
yes.
One person
Sorry, Peter. Thank you. Before we move on to our last space three, would you mind bringing it to the next meeting?
Got that myself, the projector and screen, because I used to teach first step.
Would be able to borrow yours?
Yeah.
Yes, well, yeah, thank you. And the other one is, do you think that a banner, if we had a banner to put outside the venues, that would help us market the network? Do you understand what I mean? Yeah? Yeah, yeah, something like that, yeah. Or when have you seen one like a massive one?
It's one of the canvas ones you get sort of outside.
At the moment, wouldn't it be better to establish a proper meeting rather than concentrate on the banner?
No, it's just a question.
Yeah, let's get going.
Yeah.
And establishing ourselves instead of having a part of a meeting like this tonight in a room that is dedicated to us.
So
I think it'd be better to push it word of mouth and handouts rather than having that.
The little handouts that have a really.
yeah.
Especially with moving it from face to face. Having the banner and
It's only advertisers that one building where you're having the meeting.
So that one night.
That one night, whereas really, Amanda and I could have some handouts. Every person we know who runs local business get given a piece of paper.
I just thought we'd put it out to you all to see what you got.
Are you happy to help us out in spreading the word, things like that? Because at the moment, Maneg and I have been around businesses, with other people be happy to chip
Yes,
in.
Amanda and I will bully people into helping.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Do you guys use use social media?
Yeah, we've got LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, Facebook and Twitter.
Facebook, if you want, yeah.
Do you actually push the Facebook page to business
Yeah, we had initial push, and I think over time, we're doing some work with identifying businesses and trying to invite them to like the page and also contribute.
Because it's easy enough to share.
Yeah. So like to share.
Shared, it's fine, but if I'm the one sharing and people find it, that's what I can't do. Everyone else needs to do it as well. So I know you posted a few things on there. It's just getting everyone else involved is once the ball starts rolling, it's fine.
Yeah, so that's the way forward to like and share.
Yeah, so if anybody else is on Facebook here or Twitter, look for us, Siarad Business, and like, share it, spread it around, spread the word. The only way the word will get out there is talking about it, either online or offline.
So can I call the session bound chaps forward then, Aron, to share his thoughts and how we can work together with session bound.
Right then. Diolch yn fawr iawn I bawb fel cyfle I wneud cyflwyniad. Thank you very much for the invitation here. I'm going to start off just by asking Mother just to give a quick introduction into why they established Sesiwn Auto-enrolement in the first place.
Diolch yn fawr iawn am y croeso. Thanks for the welcome. It's great that something like this is starting once again in the town. Let's hope it lives a long life and prosperous life, hopefully, for the good of the town. We've had some very good words spoken tonight, and as a local lad, the town is very, very busy, and really that's why we started Sesiwn all those years ago. I have to go back to the mists of time, really, back to 1978, I think it was. That was Dolgellau pre-bypass. Different place altogether. But anyway, we who were like-minded and interested in folk music, we decided that we'd have a festival as the thing to do, and we set up a Celtic folk festival that ran for about 3 or 4 years. Was quite successful, really, but came to an end for various reasons. In the intervening years, myself and a number of my friends took up probably our main interest, and that was playing music and traveling around Europe with a band. We came across numerous different festivals, and then I think it was back in 1992, really, we coined on the idea of again, well, why don't we start a festival once again? And Sesiwn was born in 1992, trying to do away with the mistakes that we'd done with the previous entity. When it was held in a tent on the Marianne, the idea was to take the music to the people and for it to be free. Also, just to dispel any stories that are going around, we also formed ourselves as a non-profit making company. Not one of us has made a penny. We've lost probably hundreds out of this venture over the years, but it's a non-profit making entity, and if any money is made, it goes back straight away to the festival the following year. It's taken a lot of years out of my life, I can tell you, and cost me a lot of things probably as well along the way. But anyway, the festival did grow. It did grow. Something had been touched, and I think it grew annually. In 1996, it was broadcast live on the radio. In 1997, television started to take an active part. For a few years, it was broadcast live. You had Dolgellau live on TV from Friday up until Saturday night. So that kind of, that kind of attention to the town, you can't really buy it, really, can you? But it was there. Anyway, because then we also were lucky enough to win an award by the Welsh Tourist Board at the time of Event of the Year. We also, because really of our contribution to cultural tourism, which is, well, which is supposed to be huge. I don't think we're doing much of it in town, to be honest with you. We should do a lot more. But cultural tourism is the buzzword around the world these days in most countries. Anyway, possibly lots of people think that fans come and play for nothing. Bless. But anyway, the last 2 years we made a significant loss. And really, as I said, we are a company. We could have said, we could have put our pound down as a cooperative company and walked away, but we didn't, and we haven't. And we've more or less paid back 78,000 of a bill to our creditors. You know, and we're still here. Well, that's been quite an. The Sesiwn re-established itself in 2011, and more importantly than that, we've got a great crowd of youngsters, where people like me can go to the back seat or go to the bar now, but really no, you know, the Sesiwn is in great hands, is in young hands, and really, you know, we were founded really because of the bypass. Because businesses felt there's nothing going on in town, everybody's passing us by. Now, you know, my feelings as somebody who's been involved with it all those years, I think there's probably been a fault of ourselves, but there's also, you know, we want to work with the businesses in the town. We really wanted that to happen, you know, because every year there are, you know, it varies obviously, but there's an awful lot of people who come to the town, and they're your customers for that weekend. But anyway, I'm going to be quiet now and hand over to.
Well, thank you, Evan. Just basically covered all my instructions. I'll jump in straight away into organising Sesiwn Fawr. Now, Sesiwn Fawr, as it is, there's a 3-stage on the square every Saturday afternoon, on Saturday afternoon. There's the stage at the back of the ship here, the stages, there's one in Shamas, there's one in Capital Page, anything else?
Last year, as well.
And there's also bands all around the pubs. So it's been organised by 12 local people that's on the committee. Well, here, might as well say, there is welcome to anyone to join that committee. We meet every couple of weeks in various pubs around the town, which is important to know. But most of that work is done by, I would say, a core of perhaps 8 people. Yeah, that are thereabouts. Everyone volunteer their time. Organising the festival starts around September, right? Around September. That consists of thinking of potential lineups, general improvements from the year before. Now, the committee tasks, we've got loads of different things: booking artists, writing grant applications and looking for partners and sponsors, sorting out PA systems, lighting, staging, discussing closing the square off with the council, marketing, posters, press releases, printing tickets, organising the launch events and promotional events, selling tickets, and contracting with artists. Now, Sesiwn Fawr costs. I don't know if anyone's able to guess roughly how much it costs to put on the festival as it is now.
40 grand.
40 grand. Anyone else? It's actually 30,000 or thereabouts. I'll just go through the cost quickly with you. Because artist cost, that's the main cost really, that's £15,000. Bearing in mind we do have over 40 events happening this year all over the town. Then we've got staging, which is around 5 grand, sound and lighting plus that, 3 grand. Accommodation for sound and lighting staff and some artists, around £1,000. Marketing, 2,000. Health and safety, 2,000. Insurance, 150. General costs in all sorts of stuff, 1,300. License, £25. And shuttle buses to campsites, £200. Where does this money come from? Now, at the moment, Sesiwn Fawr is seeing £20,000 from the Arts Council of Wales. Sponsors, it varies really, but roughly maybe looking at 1,000 coming in from sponsors, and then ticket sales. If we sell 300 weekend tickets, £30 a year, so that's £9,000, and that's basically the targeted total of around 30,000 to cover all costs. Doesn't always happen. I think there's years where make a loss. This year's where we make a bit of profits, maybe, but it all goes in to the next festival.
No, we're doing a good job.
Now, funding in the future, numerous people actually have said tonight that there are cuts in grants, and after 2015, cuts in funding means money from the Arts Council will more than halve our session bow. That means we will have to look at raising more money from sponsorships and significantly boost ticket sales. So 2015 plans, we have, as I said, over 40 acts and events over the weekend in locations such as the Square, pubs, theatres, pajamas. We've introduced a new accommodation scheme this year, which we really hope will boost the ticket sales and the people will get that. We will be running shuttle buses around the Square to Dolgellau during Friday and Saturday. And now camping tickets, and we really hope that will boost people here. A new website, which is a convenient way to buy tickets and to offer a chance for businesses to advertise. That means improved ticket sales already. Tickets have already been sold to people across the UK. New people still get that, hopefully they'll come here again. I know Aron starts to put stats.
Yeah, I think the first 3 tickets we picked up were sold to someone butcher, which maybe wouldn't be your ordinary visitors to the restaurant. So again, as businesses, shows what's a great opportunity that weekend is. Specifically, maybe draws people in for 3 days for the entertainment. It's a great chance to sell our town and our businesses to people for a 6 to 8 week period of some holidays. Beyond that as well, you know, for the future.
Another important thing we want to do this year, feedback from previous years suggests people would like to see more catering on the Square. We don't really want to bring external people in for a set fee. So what we're looking to do is get all the cafes in town to run stalls on the Square during the weekend. What we are looking for is maybe if businesses sponsor the festival, 50 quid or whatever, and then they can put their stalls on the Square all weekend. We don't want to bring external visitors and stuff in, because I think it's a great chance for cafes and stuff to make quite a lot of money out for this.
I was just saying, sorry, have you personally gone around and spoken to?
We have, this is happening in public. We talked to Castor Gap there, they're going to do it. So currently now going around everyone to ask if they're willing to do that. This year we're organising a session about percent gigs in locations across North Wales to try and boost the number of ticket sales. And we're co-working with the Rhwydweithio as well. They're going to bring in just the Rhwydweithio and all of that. And we're going to run some workshops in the week leading to session about with children. So they're going to perform on the stage. Hopefully that's will bring lots of families in over the weekend.
That, just add to that as well, that's been a big focus over the past 3 or 4 years. Where we're co-working down to Siarad and local schools. So getting families involved as well. So again, giving different families, different people, different opportunities to add to the project.
So plans for 2016 and beyond. We really want to co-work with S4C as partners. We have talked to them this year. Hopefully by next year they will come in as partners, and they will host events like characters from popular children TV programs and events from Chau, stuff like that. Again, boosting the number of families. Also, hope to be co-working with SOC and the BBC broadcasting festival again. I think that's very, very important marketing option for us and generally advertise to get that on TV. Introduced an improved accommodation scheme, able to buy camping tickets online, festival parking. What we would really love to do is host a free car park somehow over the weekend. That's not going to happen this year, but it might be something we can look at next year.
I'm aware that council car park up at Pensiynnau is free. and can be used over the weekends.
So that's the, that's
But I was going to say it needs to be advertised because the council don't like it with them knowing that the council car park is free.
Oh, brilliant, thank you.
But because of, as we discovered over the weekend, the people who organise the events aren't necessarily informed that there are problems with car parks and car parking, hence the lack of long-stay car parking down the bottom, which I think has about 4, maybe 8 spaces on it at the moment. But if you can also, if the council say they're a private company, so you would need to really sweep them from that, have a word with them, see if you can get farmers marts in some way to be able to use farmers marts over that weekend.
That's right. Thank you very much. Again, 2016, with more houses around the town and more catering as well. So we want more business to get involved.
I know we touched upon decorating the town the last meeting. You said that would be something that would be beneficial for the town throughout the summer. We've actually had a quote for session ourselves, and it was £3,000 for decorating for the festival. We've applied for a grant for that to happen, but we've yet to hear on that. So the long and short of what I'm saying there is there's a great opportunity that we can decorate the town. It can be a thing that's all year round through the summer, whatever we all feel is fit about that. But you know, depending on our grants, it may be something that we need to discuss further and see, do we all contribute to the benefit of the town, not just the benefit of the festival, obviously.
I was going to say that I'm sure even last year and the year before there were coloured flags around that. Was that the session round?
They've been the past 2 years. Session round again. I think that's together who's the goals just to decorate again next year. The only reason we do own them because of the grants. The only reason they've been coming down is so with the weather, we haven't been able. They've been coming down, but again, something we can discuss for the time to benefit from.
And maybe because the grants we've applied for is only about for everyone from lottery. So maybe next year, maybe we could all sort of like a grant application together, you know, so that everyone can get something out of it. Maybe that everyone's get the shop windows or whatever, so maybe that would be.
So this way you tie in with the Dolgellau partnership for experts.
Yeah, that's
surely that would be a good last.
Yeah. Well, the people at involved are really big as well, and they accept we have a strong pitch basically, so that's definitely sort of thing.
Another point to say, again, farmers market in their capacity as a real estate agent, that American term, the big shop in the square, which they are have got up. It might be interesting to try and have a word with them, to approach the owners to say, could you put some sort of window display in those 2 massive black windows? Because it's just like a dark hole in the centre of town. If you could advertise session power there, I'm sure it would really help.
That ties in quite well with one of the last points you were going to make anyway, in regards to businesses decorating their windows, contributing in any way to, again, decorating the town. If you're interested in anything like that, please do mention it to us. Again,
our posters need to be available because I will quite happily dedicate a window with a big poster, and then I can just let it with music.
Posters are now, with time this year's email address on a piece of paper I have, and I'll just send you more information if you're interested. We are looking to improve the coordination with local businesses out there. Just about things well over 1,000 people to the town, all of them are potential customers for you. So we, again, as Aron was saying, just encourage anyone to decorate the shops, put signs outside, or anything that you feel to draw customers to your businesses. Sorry. Any questions?
Very simple. And what's the date of it?
It's the 17th, 18th, and 19th of July.
Thank you. How do you decide what acts you're going to?
Discussions and committees, to be honest. This year, we've got acts which have won Vogue awards. We've got
on Friday night, for example, we've got a band just won Radio 2 awards, album of the year. You know, we've got some very good. We've got but you know,
they're all decided by the committee.
Yeah,
you know, sit down on a monthly basis to discuss.
And it's a case of looking at actually who would draw this out. It's easy just to pick a handful of bands that you think are good, but really needs to look at who will actually draw people to the festival.
What we try and offer as well is something which is a little bit different to most of the festivals in Wales. Like you said, there's been a folk festival.
Yeah.
There's a big touch on folk in it, but we're also, you know, we've got a couple of world bands and local rock bands as well. Whereas a lot of people maybe think it's just a folk festival. We've got lots of literature involved. We've got comedy acts happening this year as well. So it's pitched more as an arts festival, cultural. You know, a family festival as opposed to just a.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that Aron touches on an important point, which I think, you know, unfortunately, when you organise a festival or an event like this, then you do get a lot of people who are no interest in the event, but who come anyway because they're going to have a good time. And I think we've, as a festival, we've suffered a lot because of that over the years, really, and you know, people. Hundreds in years gone by, maybe thousands would come into the archive with no interest. We're not a thought of going into to pay for the event, but rather spend twice that amount of money in the pubs and having a, you know, and unfortunately that happens. You know, we've never, you know, actively, you know, promoted that because obviously it works against us. You know, our aim is for people to pay to get into the event so that we obviously make money, pay the bills. But we are, you know, as the point of already, we are branching out. We've got literary events, we've got comedy events, we've you know, events for children and so forth. So I think we're very actively, hopefully anyway, becoming more of a family-oriented arts festival, and hopefully. You know, we can establish ourselves thus.
Have you heard of the Rock Project? They have the kids up to the age of 18 and they teach them performance. Basically, whatever. You know, are the sort of places where perhaps, you know, get in touch with them together. Because I know they do like showcase concerts for like the parents. Yeah. There's quite a lot of showcases going. There used to be one at Maneg, but it closed down, but they've all moved to sort of Aberystwyth now. So they are relatively local.
Definitely, yeah, that sort of stuff. I mean, we've got we're running workshops this year with a red band. They're doing like showcase on the main stage in the square. So we'll be in next year as we can involve more workshops to that.
Where can people actually buy the tickets from?
You can buy them online at www.sesiwn.company, or they will, they're not yet out in the shops, but they will be in local shops as well, and also buy them.
Last year we had I think.
Yeah, well, that's we're improving on that system this year because you can buy online and then we'll have a master list to shop to pick up the tickets. So we'll be making it perfectly clear that the box office closes at 9, so they'll have to go. Yeah, it's possible. I'm not sure where they were. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we are also something else this year as well. You know, we always have a promotion where you can buy a cheap ticket before a certain date. The tickets are going to be available to local people on a cheaper price, £25, I think, yeah, instead of the 30 right up until the festival. So, you know, if you're local, you buy your tickets in the shop, get them.
There's also various different sponsorship packages, like Darren mentioned, which has the tickets at price as well.
Is there anywhere that says that? The locals can get
It's online.
It's online and on Facebook and also social media.
People are asking.
It's on our website.
There's also
Facebook, Twitter. As I said, we're getting the posters out in the next couple of weeks, really. That's the time we've chosen to get all those posters
We just
out.
ask people to follow us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. Then all the information is there and this will be directed to what you want.
The campaign.
Sorry.
You have the link for the campaign.
Yeah.
Because I used to pay sponsors on a campaign.
Yeah, Captain News. Yeah.
So I will get down to go from campaign.
Yeah, for an advertising feature.
Caroline, yeah?
Campaign News has been very active. About the beer festival.
Who's sponsored by our adverts?
Yeah.
That's what sponsored.
That's
The Cameron used to contact all the businesses. Right,
That's
they bring round and ask.
You need to speak to Caroline and talk about that.
Yeah.
I think basically that you know when the festival was big, I think you know advertising was obviously much bigger. It's gone smaller recently, and you know the advertising feature hasn't happened. That's
You still do the little booklets on the map.
but last year because it was 2020th festival.
We did last year, the focus this year is going to be on the website. Just to mention Emily and Kelly, they designed the website this year. Focus this year is going to be on the website as opposed to the
Right.
yeah.
You said earlier you want a person, perhaps a committee member. Because I didn't speak Welsh.
I don't think anybody ever said that. You know, sorry,
There's numerous members, as David mentioned, 12 all in all. I would say there's 2 or 3 non-Welsh speakers. So the committee mostly held in language of Welsh, but that doesn't mean to say that you're not welcome to that reason. You know,
always
we're quite happy to translate,
nobody
we're quite happy to introduce the ideas.
Did you say earlier you would like to borrow equipment? Or are you all right for equipment?
What do you have?
Well, I bought the equipment I bought for the stag, which is speakers, mics,
Okay.
things for
Well,
live mic lines. And I've obviously still got all that.
Well, that would be amazing because we are looking at a few years that we're going to put around all the pubs as well. So yeah, if you can have sure, appreciate that very much.
Because I can't afford to sponsor you money, but I can obviously lend it to
Yeah,
the which would save you hiring.
Yeah, and then we do all the nappers to promote, you know, your business on sponsorship.
Well, if someone drops in and sees me in the shop, it's too loud for the staff.
Joe, will it need backwards then?
Yes. Well, I don't know, it was part tested at the start, so that was what, 8 months ago.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's still in.
You mentioned about the posters. Are these going up or just the other posters?
We can potentially get a lot of these out
because I suggest doing these going, but they don't have any prices on them.
No.
So I suggest pamphlets printed with all prices.
But I suggest they will the posters as well.
No, prices are not in the posters.
No, but I suggest they do.
Okay, yeah, that's something we'll. Yeah,
but I can put this one in the window temporarily, but it would be helpful. So I can see people coming in and saying, okay, where do I find this?
Okay.
How much are they?
I'll design a poster with prices and all that.
The armbands, and then they get into all.
They can come into the back of the ship. They can go to Sesiwn, Faculty here.
It's all venues again this year. In regards to the events that Tavern gathers, solely hosted by the Bolster Lights. So that's
that can have to be it.
Yeah.
We say we pay the price for the ticket.
Yeah. Well, this year,
I think you just need to clarify. They're not sure what we're getting from the money. If they know as much for the ticket, you need to know that what they were saying to us.
You know, in regards to the concerns you mentioned tonight, can we have a meeting with everybody sooner rather than later just to clear all that up? Any questions you have, that'd be great. We can get to answers.
You mentioned about the smaller events. They will be in Dolgellau, or you trying to do around the
launch events now.
No, the smaller events. The what do you call it? The present schemes.
Yeah, no, those are going to be this one going to be insisted by Pensiynnau, where lots of people from Pensiynnau generally come to such about. The other one is going to be in Barmo, and the other one is going to be in Penguin.
So just trying to throw the net out a little bit wide.
No, I'm just thinking, you know, it might be worth doing these sort of things, you know, slowly in Dolgellau itself, just to bring awareness to the town itself, bring more people in. So you can see what we do in Dolgellau, and then that brings more people in.
Yeah, that's
for the actual session by weekend itself.
I think you know, it's difficult to imagine really, but Dolgellau around Europe at one time used to be synonymous with music or with folk music. You know, people, you know, even more so than Catholics. It's difficult to believe possibly, but you know, people knew about this festival. It was one of the leading world music festivals in Wales. It was not written at one time.
I think a lot of the local crowds close Dolgellau to their friends from away.
Musicians, you know, the word goes around. You know, we've got some of the top bands playing here, and I'll tell you a story that we can maybe finish with. The Levelers came here once.
I really remember the Levelers.
Yeah, the Levelers came here, and one of our local business people is our treasurer that year, Leon Chopper, and the Levelers came in their tour bus, parked backstage. I don't know if you know about the Levelers or their reputation or whatever, but anyway, they are an ex-traveller band. But anyway, they came and they parked their tour bus behind stage, and Leon went in and said, "Welcome to Dolgellau." And they looked at him. Do you know, we've travelled all over the world and nobody's ever welcomed us to a festival before. That tells you a lot about the story. We hope that we are welcoming. You know, the idea really is to welcome the world to Dolgellau, but by welcoming the world, to put also our Welsh music on a stage that can be projected so that the rest of the world can see and hear our own music with, you know, the top artists in the world as well. So
us know by all means. You know, if you want us to implement any advertising to be more obvious, you know, we welcome that information, obviously, because we're a committee of 8 at the end of the day. So any further ideas are very welcome.
What else? Yeah, there's some posters here with what's the artists on the weekend. Good pick them up.
Handing around the sheet so we can select people's email
Okay,
addresses.
thank you. Right, we're coming to the end of the evening now. Open invite to all the guest speakers to come and join us whenever you want. And we're on the last Wednesday of every month. Next venue is the Saucepan, 5:30 on the. What then? 24th, yeah. Yeah, 24th of next month. Thank you, Anna, whatever she is. Anna, diolch yn fawr iawn am y noson. Diolch am the little bow would have been too small. So thank you for sorting this out for us at short notice. And thank you to the Fellowship Hotel for having us. You have some free time now just to mingle and network and bring any ideas to conference. If you've got any ideas, please share it on Facebook and Twitter. And thank you all for doing it.